Take a look at the Halford's 1/4 inch drive Imperial sockets. I didn't have any Imperial, regular sockets. Did have some deep ones, which obviously I don't use Imperial a lot, so they can be used for surface mounted fixings as well, even though they're a little bit tall and a little bit awkward. So I kind of got away with them, but I didn't have any, so I thought, well, the 1/4 inch stuff's cheap enough as it is. There weren't too much to choose from, but I thought I'd try something from Halford for a change, just to mix things up on the channel. So take a look at those.
I haven't really done a video for a while because I haven't really bought too much, to be honest, but I picked up some Halford's 1/4 inch drive Imperial sockets. You can see they didn't necessarily say Halford's Pro or Advanced, they're just Halford's on there. Don't really use them too often. Imperial sizes, but you know, when there isn't really much else that you want to add, if you haven't got any regular shallow sockets, then I might as well add them in. A lot of the older videos that I did were stuff that I had lying around for a few months. I didn't really get around to doing a review on anyway, but like I said, I haven't really had much to pick up and buy and try out tool wise recently, apart from these. I have been making do with some 1/4 inch deep Imperial sockets. Contrary to popular belief, you can actually remove surface mounted fixings with a deep socket. It's just a little bit, you know, it's just a little bit longer, just a little bit more, tiny bit more awkward to use, but it'll remove them just as well. But obviously they're a little bit more awkward, so if you can get some, I mean, 1/4 inch stuff isn't really that expensive, so you might as well pick up some shallow ones if you can. Now I say these are Halfords. A lot of people have been, a lot of mechanics as well have been saying, oh, the Halford stuff is actually pretty good. The Halford stuff is pretty good, you know, you want to go down there and pick up some Halford stuff when you're you need something of a certain ilk, and for a job at work or something you need to get it quick, and I've tried it, and the Halford stuff, it seems to last out okay. Looking at these Halford's ones though, again, I can see our trying to get this to focus nicely. Well, there we go. I can see our favoured chrome vanadium font on there again, like we see on a lot of our import sockets and other branded sockets. Exactly the same font, I'm afraid. It's even on this. This is the Nielsen one. You can see it's there again, exactly the same chrome vanadium font. You know, they've got no need to all use exactly the same font. I mean, you don't see it on all the same. Like I say, that's the Nielsen. You know, they don't all the different companies, you know, Brittle, and they don't all use the same font. So they're obviously all coming from the same place, as is these Halfords sockets. And you take a look in the at the broaching, it is very similar to the Bergen ones as well as the Nielsen ones that we've seen, as well as some of the Sealy stuff that seems to come from the same place. And there's generic ones that we looked at in 1/4 inch as well. And also the you take a look at the socket, the female part and the radius, how it's been cut is exactly the same as the Nielsen ones are. Exactly the same, so I think you might be able to get them up there together. Yeah, exactly the same, you know, it's an almost exact match. Obviously they always do slightly different design elements, like where the chamfering is and whether that's whether they want a straight socket or something different like that. You know, from whoever this company is. I did find the name of the actual place that was selling a lot of the Ford Motor Company. Have got some socket sets out and sockets and things like that as well, and they're made by the same company. Pretty much the same thing as the Bergen kits, with the ratchet on there and the sockets down the sides, etc. We take a look at one of the medium-sized ones. 3/8, again with the Halford's stamp and our recognised font. This kind of double band around there on there. So, you know, these days you can't really go too far really without picking up exactly the same item from exactly the same place, no matter what the branding is, and it's exactly, you know, it's just exactly the same. I think these were about $6.50, something like that. One of the smaller ones. Those that don't know, like any Americans or anything out there, Halford's is kind of it's like an auto centre. It's like a place that really it's designed for cars and motorcycles. It does do a bicycle side or section to the store, most stores as well. And they sell a lot of bicycle stuff and bicycle tools as well. They do mainly tools to do with cars, car stereos. They've got like a bays where they go and fit new car batteries and car stereos for you and things like that. And obviously you can buy batteries in there yourself. You know, it's just like an auto store, but they also do their own selection of tools. Like I showed before previously in the past, I did pick up some that was from when I was working as an engineer. I picked up some hex keys or Allen keys, Halford's Pro, and they actually lasted quite a long time. I've still got them. I've moved them onto the magnetic rack in the garage, but they lasted quite a long time. So, you know, the one thing I did notice is there was a slight difference in font on this one, which actually, instead of just having Halford stamped on it, it's actually got the actual genuine Halford's logo now stamped on it, which is what they have up above on the sign above the stores. Exactly the same lettering as that. So this one is different. So there might be some out there. This one's 9/32, I think, and this one actually has chrome vanadium stamped in a CRV. So this one is actually ever so slightly different. The back end is still the same though. So they've obviously changed the design a little bit. That's one of the ones that's slipped through. I don't think there's any more. No, I think the rest of them are just I think there's actually two. There's actually two of them like that. There we go. Yeah, there's two of them like that in the set. So, or is this one as well? Make that three. There's three of them like that. So some, yeah, they're obviously going through different stages of when they put them out. But if you are looking for a set of Imperial, you could always look at these Halford ones. But to be honest with you, they're exactly the same as most of the other import stuff, so I'd leave it up to you, to be honest. But they'll certainly put a shift in and do a job for me, what I'll use them for. For me, they come from the same place as the Bergen US Pro. what Bergen's changed their name to now, I think, and some of the Sealy stuff and some of the generic stuff as well as the Nielsen. So you know, it really doesn't matter if you can get any of the others in 1/4 inch Imperial cheaper, then do that. But yeah, interesting video, because we get to see that they are pretty much the same sockets once again that a lot of the other people are knocking out as well. So that's the Halford's Imperial 1/4 inch drive sockets. We'll actually also add that I have been using some Halford's spark plug sockets for a while. Halford's been a number of years. So. So this stuff seems to be relatively okay, but for all those mechanics that have been shouting, you know, leaving the shop and going off to buy stuff, yeah, it probably works well. But you know, you've been slagging off a lot of the other stuff without trying it, Nielsen and the likes of Bergen and things like that. You've been slagging them off on tour forums, you know, and online and things like YouTube and things like that. And a lot of the actual Halford stuff that you have been raving about is actually come from the same places as those other tool brands anyway. So you know, kind of you know, I don't know. It's kind of stupid, to be honest, to be doing that. But you know, that's the Halford's 1/4 inch sockets in Imperial anyway.
Some people say that sometimes I might have marks on some of my videos. Well, it's because of shaving. Shaving leaves me with a very red neck. Sometimes a lot worse than other times. You can see now, a little while after, it's starting to get a little bit worse before it fades away. So that's why I do have marks on me on some of the videos. That's all it is, just a bit of shaving. As you can see now, it's really rather quite bad a little while after it's left to settle. That's the reason why I have marks on me on some of the videos. It's because I usually have a shave before I actually film the video, so I don't look rough and a mess, obviously. So I don't like the stubble. I'm one of those people that does not look good with the with stubble, as you can see. So that's all it is. It's a shaving rash.